Executive summary, presentation technologies, PowerPoint and Google Slides. Considering both the learners and as stakeholders and myself and a few others who may volunteer to assist with the current incarnation of the intervention, the fact of the matter remains. PowerPoint is a somewhat ubiquitous tool. Chosen in this technology market study for both its presentation, interactive, and file export prowess, as well as its base graphic abilities, one can arguably state that when combined with Google Slides and Google Docs, the web-based service or cloud provider, a free Gmail account unlocks, both applications need to be thought of as a powerful combo. Case in point, the workaround found to embed and share a set of slides on the web. Hopefully, it will work better on WordPress than how it did here in Canvas, as we will most likely check out the CSS and our XML and HTML tags and settings for when the slides are posted as web pages. Otherwise, as proven in previous courses, PowerPoint can be enabled with base navigational interactivity between pages and sections and relatively sophisticated embedding of additional multimedia components such as YouTube or exported videos from other PowerPoint files, phone video camera, etc. That most other presentation graphics and e-learning technologies usually point back to enhancing and importing a base PowerPoint file, attests to it remaining a mature, relatively stable cornerstone for a presentation application, now nearing its third decade. At that, Priyanka Sen sums up its dominance as follows. By 2003, PowerPoint revenues for Microsoft were over $1 billion annually. By 2010, Microsoft announced that PowerPoint had been installed on 1 billion computers worldwide. A study done in 2012 reported PowerPoint held approximately a 95% share of the presentation software market, eclipsing competitors such as Apple Keynote, Google Presentations, and Prezi. PowerPoint's continued domination may be down to the program's gold standard status in educational settings for students and professors. And for the most part, people are satisfied with their PowerPoint experience. There's no compelling reason to change. It seems that PowerPoint is here to stay. Once again, for graphics technology, PowerPoint. Seen previous, just as it can be used to manage interactives of all sizes and scopes, PowerPoint has evolved into a useful and valuable still and video creation tool. The fact that it outputs to most any graphic format, including TIFF, points to it being a contender when it comes to putting together an illustration quickly and for most practical purposes with a rather comfortable learning curve. So for both of these two elaborations, the choice of PowerPoint also points back to not only the skill level of the author, but the relative affordability for learners with access to most any recent version of Office. And the fact that Google Slides once again becomes a useful backup, given how close the base use case and feature functionalities have been referenced by Google in its counterpart free online tools. Cost estimations, a few points in PowerPoint. Since the tool was chosen to cover two of the prompts, a reminder that for most stakeholders of the project, it is traditionally a cost-free alternative, one without the hamperings of a cloud mode that, discounting the price, may oftentimes be barred or blacklisted from use in many corporate spaces today. That the author counts 2 instances of Office 365 at his disposal, both with the drive and stream components required to safely share to certain select audiences. Otherwise, the fact that files can be quickly moved around between both the local instance of the application and the Google tool that superbly manages the same file format is yet another reason to stay in the realm of available and secure paid-for options. E-learning technology, Adobe Captivate. Here, the author posits a potential additional cost to make the first two choices truly reach their full potential. A roughly US $300 for a student license, it would be hard not to consider adding it to the toolkit. For that to be the case, it would become the one cost variable that takes us away from the freebie or properly available methodology embraced for the development of the intervention so far. Otherwise, the process of evaluating Adobe Captivate also points back to the fact that the author has been dusting off some earlier prerequisite skills in the Adobe Creative Cloud student set of tools from Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Dreamweaver, and even Audition, Premiere, and After Effects. Fact is that granted enough time in the scope, those bells and whistles could be easily merged into the final version of the capstone project. That being said, the author also chose Captivate as e-learning for the fact that it pairs up with Captivate Prime, LMS, which is apparently only being sold to corporations for multiple seats. Still, as requested by faculty, author's choice to theorize on, as we can see from the previous choices, his MO is to follow established larger brands rather than disruptive niche boutique ones. Yes. A discussion detour into Miro.com. Again, yes, for the sake of research. Cost. Cost was then initially discussed at the start of this section for a student like the author. Otherwise, corporate pricing starts at roughly $1,200 for one instance of the application. Subscriptions apparently not yet in the menu. Still, a choice worth pondering and research. Website technology, WordPress.com, and choice plugins. Finally, another freebie, WordPress.com, arguably a marketing tool to frame future CMS or content management system admins, can handle the basic front page structure and vision for the intervention. Thanks to the author's exposure not only to it for a few years way back when he thought that social media could be a viable career, but to overall scripting, base coding, and other infrastructure chores on web-based services of any size, the choice of the market leader in the CMS ecosystem was clear. Additionally, the fact that ample literature and manuals were found in the school's library give him enough of a confidence bolster in this choice. Otherwise, from the learner's standpoint, the assumption is that the experience will be a standard one in terms of finding and navigating the site. As even with a free account, one can build folder and file structures that will allow for functional URL, universal resource locator hierarchies, effectively turning the pages built in WordPress as the integration site or hub for the multiple technologies already listed in this and previous classes. Cost. Add to that the affordability of the monthly premium and business plans. We're adding a custom vanity domain to the previously mentioned file and folder structure, along with additional storage and other control panel features under the very same account, make it a worthwhile contender in this technology category. All starting at $6 per month, payment in advance for the first year subscription to the professional services. And this is where this presentation will eventually be found on the paper in front of the reflection. We're going to stop here now and hopefully turn in our paper, and we're going to embed this video here. Thank you.